Hello. We all know that tutors face the difficulty of ensuring constructive alignment, where the curriculum, teaching activities, and assessment tasks are all coordinated to support the intended learning. In this walkthrough, I will show you how to generate precise learning outcomes using artificial intelligence. We will, of course, first define the scope, choose a taxonomy, craft a structured prompt, and complete with a smart validation. So I'm going to paste the prompt here, as you can see. So the first of all is I've given it the role. You can see that the role says you are an experienced instructor supporting the creation of student-centered learning outcomes for a level 6 university module on strategic management in organizations. The task is to generate four learning outcomes only using, of course, the constraints, that's Bloom's cognitive levels of analyze or evaluate, the ABCD format, that is audience, behavior, condition, and degree. The requirements will be verbs must be observable. For example, should be analyze, evaluate, critique, and design. Avoid victims, that's part of the requirements, like, avoiding terms like know, understand, learn, and appreciate. And finally, a brief alignment note for each outcome linking it to an assessment type. This is extremely important because you need to ensure that there is a close link between the learning outcomes you are developing as well as the assessment students will be doing. So it is important. I will share this prompt in the description box below, but please try to follow something like this where it has a role. You've got the task, the constraints, as well as the requirements that you want so as to guide the AI to provide efficient learning outcomes. So I'm going to click on press, submit, and then let's wait to see what is going to write. So you can see that it's generating the learning outcomes. So I assume this is learning outcome one, that is outcome two, outcome 3, and outcome 4. So if you look carefully, it has strictly followed the ABCD framework that I put in the prompt. That is, it must be include the audience, the behavior, the condition, and the degree. So if you look at learning outcome 1, for example, it says analyze strategic management theories and frameworks when presented with complex organizational case scenarios, producing a logically structured evidence-based argument. So you can see that at the bottom as well, there's an alignment note that so that it ensures that the learning outcome fits the type of assessment that we are covering. So make sure you carefully look at each of the learning outcomes, and then the next step is to use the smart validation. So you can type use smart validation to evaluate each outcome. So when you use something like this, that you use smart validation to evaluate each outcome, you want to ensure that those outcomes are actually appropriate to the context. So we're going to click on submit. Okay, it's producing. You can see that each, yeah. So don't forget that the purpose of the smart validation is to ensure that each outcome is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. As you can see, and it has done that efficiently, okay, for each of the four learning outcomes. So it says for the let's look at the second one, for example, and it's even giving a verdict, okay. So it says the second outcome is to evaluate the effectiveness of organizational strategic decisions using contemporary industry data and scholarly sources, supporting judgments with critical justification and referenced evidence. So, yeah, you can see that the smart evaluation is there. It is specific, yes, Measurable, yes. Achievable, yes. Relevant, yes. And time bound, implicitly, yes. Thank you. So the verdict is that it is smart compliant, and it's done each and every for all of the four outcomes. So ensure, of course, it is important that the outcomes is aligned with the assessment. Always make sure that you teach, you treat AI's first draft as not perfect. Okay, so don't be afraid to iterate. If an outcome isn't specific enough, simply ask it to refine it, or you might go ahead to change the cognitive level. So that completes the workflow. Define intent, don't forget, select your taxonomy, prompt with A, B, C, D, and refine iteratively. When you're done with that stage, then smart check and align with the assessment. So AI, of course, they help with speeding the drafting, but human judgment ensures academic validity. Go ahead, give it a try. You'll be amazed at the difference. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.